quarterback because they made that change only 2 games. Just evaluating the last year they played, what differences have you seen in the offense, and how do you plan to attack them?
You want our game plan?
Well, sure, why not? I mean, if you want to. What challenges do you think they present?
Well, defense is trained reaction, but they present a lot of issues. They've been very efficient with what they're doing. I think that's the same offense with both quarterbacks. They're both big, strong, mobile guys. They want to, run the football and set up play action. They're a combination, a little bit like NC State, where you'll see both spread and 2 tights and 2 backs and 3 back sets. They've got big receivers and got a big, strong back that's runs downhill and plays well behind his pads, and then they've got a smaller, shiftier, more explosive, make you miss in the hole kind of back as well. They've done a good job recruiting, and they play with the toughness and the physicality that you can appreciate and respect. And even in their last game, they played both quarterbacks early, within the first couple of drives of the game. So it looks like it might be more of a platoon as opposed to a replacement and going with a hot hand. But they're both big, strong quarterbacks that sit in the pocket well. They're big in stature and both have big arms. So, they're good quality players.
Do they run those guys much?
They will. They will. I mean, they'll have a little bit of option game and quarterback power and some of the stuff that you see with almost everybody anymore. It seems like you're in the minority offensively if you're not doing something with your quarterback that way.
What's different about Rashawn Breeland's play this year?
He's just disciplined, doing all the little things the right way. It's the biggest thing. Just disciplined with his eyes, his technique, and just doing his job.
It's kind of cliche for corners that they'd rather be the ones that you don't hear their names.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, can knock on it. We were rather inconsistent there a year ago, and just all the simple things, not necessarily looking for a big-time playmaker. You'd obviously like to have that, but just, again, having the appropriate leverage. You're supposed to pressure, you're supposed to blitz. If you're supposed to, you're in cover 2 and you're supposed to be in the flat. Be in the flat, just all those little things. Execution-wise, we're just a lot more consistent there. So, you want to notice him for the big plays. And he had a nice sack, so they called his name. That was encouraging. He set the edge a couple of times, really nice on some of the jet sweeps the other day, and we leveraged the ball well. So, but he's playing a lot better. I think he's a lot more confident and consistent.
You mentioned all the things, the details.
Mm-hmm.
Gary and Darius and Martin and Rashawn. You think just another year of your system, maturity, collective?
Probably a combination of all those things. Understanding, maturity. Again, just as you mature, you become more disciplined, and you don't try to do too much. And as a result, you make a lot more plays when you let the system work for you. So I think trust is a big part of that.
In sacks, you guys are top 6 in the country or something like that. Did you think coming in that the pass rush would be that strong this early in the season?
I felt that would be a strength. I don't, put a whole lot of stock into where you rank and those types of things outside of you. Really felt that the front would be a strength of ours, and it's played out to be true. And if we're going to play well from here on out, it'll have to continue to be that way. And if you start getting blocked and not beating people, one-on-one, then, nothing goes right. So expectation was that they would play, well. And they have. So been real pleased that way. We've shown to have some depth there, as well.
Do you have no date on Carlos Rocco's availability?
I don't think he'll play this week. So he's going through whatever rehab. I don't know just know he's some bone bruises. No breaks or ligament damage that I'm aware of, but I coach the backers, so I'm not an expert on any of those kind of things, but I don't think he'll be available this week.
Your safeties was a concern last week. Wanted to get some more playing time for the younger guys.
Mhm.
Did get a couple of those guys in.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what you thought of them?
I was pleased with a lot of it, and you know, I think the more they play, the better and more comfortable that they'll get. So was glad they were able to get it and get a lot of reps in the competitive situation, you know, prior to the second half. And what you take out of it is that you feel confident that, you know, they'll continue to progress. And so we got a bunch of them in there. Yeah, you're right.
What does that mean for you going forward as you get more deeper into this conference schedule?
Well, I mean, hopefully it means that, you know, we'll get better and better, and our execution will be better. There'll be more guys that can do it, and the guys that are doing it will be, again, fresher and stronger, and all the things that you want them to be in regards to your execution. So whether it's injuries or special teams or a guy just needs a breather, you'd like to know that you know, the next guy can go in there and execute what you want him to do.
How physical is Syracuse's line?
Very physical. One of the most physical lines we've faced up to this point. Well coached. They know what they're doing. They handle movement well, and you know, they play a good physical brand. You can see they had their prior coordinator was a pro style of offense, and so they're built for running the football.
How comfortable are you with your corners this year as opposed to last year? It seemed like this time last year you guys were scrambling a little bit. I mean, Adam Humphries is playing corner, and it seemed like those guys have really come back and kind of solidified the back end.
Yeah, we're better there, and we're still working at getting better fundamentally and tackling, and again, still working on all the details. But we've shown to be more consistent at this point. Better awareness and understanding with what we want them to do, and what I think they have a much better you know, grasp of what their responsibilities are on any given call. So as a result, they're playing, again, in just a more disciplined way.
Going on the road, Coach, when you talked about, does it make it easier to communicate? You guys are probably used to it in this environment here. You talked about you're used to crowd noise and not really having to worry about talking to each other. Does it perhaps simplify things for you a little bit?
Well, for us on the road, it's easier, you know, in defense. As long as you
you
get.
do more as a coordinator. Like,
I don't really think about that as much as just knowing that, you know, there really shouldn't be any excuses in regards to on-the-field communication, and you know, obviously the tendency will be a little bit quieter as opposed to being at home where you have that crowd is, you know, your advantage in making it more difficult on the offense to the opponent's offense to execute and to communicate. So for us, it's cleaner, you know, but you know, the biggest thing is our guys being able to focus and not let some of the other not being in familiar territory, you know, not to allow those types of things to distract them, you know, and lose their focus.
Coach, when you talked about enjoying as a player playing on the road, kind of embracing going into a hostile environment, did you feel the same way when you were a player? Did you like going and playing on the road?
Yeah, I mean, I just like to play. So I think that you have to, you know, as we talk all the time, you know, on defense, you got to go on the road. It's hard to win in anybody's stadium, and you know, you've got to really play well on defense and on special teams. And if you do those things, you have a great chance to win. And so that's kind of our mentality, you know, the toughness that it takes, the focus that it takes, the more precision that it takes, you know, the collective effort, and you know, fighting for every patch of grass that you can. Not that you don't do that at home, but you're really the margin for error is a little bit less. You got to expect to have to win it on defense and special teams.
Stewart played a lot